Hi, everybody, and welcome to GLP's 10 out of 10. And today we have with us from Las Vegas, Michael Keller. Michael is an award-winning lighting designer and director who started his career in the concert touring industry after deciding that performing on stage was not really cut out for him. More recently, with his company, Armo Lighting, Michael has worked more in the corporate events industry as well. Over his career, he's designed shows for artists such as Tina Turner, Billy Idol, John Mayer, and Aerosmith. Michael has also been honored with a Parnelli Award for his lighting direction work. However, Michael is probably best known as the lighting director for Black Sabbath, the English band fronted by the charismatic Ozzy Osbourne, with whom he worked for 20 years and was there as they concluded their final show of their The End tour in their hometown of Birmingham. Welcome, Michael Keller.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be amongst the names that you've had already on your show.
So let's get started then. So off with our first question. What was your first show as a designer?
Well, I started out working in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, for a promoter, Bill Graham. And he had a production company called FM Productions. And I was their in-house LD. Well, and it was in the late 70s, and I had, the long hair and the hippie type vibe going. And this band, they hired us, and they were called the Commodores.
Right.
So, and I, being a San Francisco kid, I had no idea who in the hell the Commodores were, but I was hired to be their LD. And so, we designed this rig, and the only reason we got the account is we had one of the prototypes for a board that had chase in it. So their lighting director just wanted to have a board that he could turn on and walk around and let the lights do this by themselves. It's quite brilliant.
Let the technology take over.
Yes.
Wow. So obviously that's taking us back to the beginning of your time and obviously a great career so far. We're asking everybody, what's the one that you're going to tell us about? Because I'm sure there's plenty of stories you don't want to tell us about, but what was the embarrassing, the Spinal Tap moment that you can recall where everything just seemed to be going so well and then it all came crashing down around you?
I did think about that, and it dealt back with there's a Lionel Richie tour, which we were just doing a bunch of one-offs, and we were in Egypt, in Cairo, in front of the pyramids, and it was before cloning became a real normal thing.
Right.
And halfway through the show, I hit a cue, and all the lights go out and start resetting, because we had gone from studio colors to max 600s or something, and the studio color was supposed to do was telling the max 600s to all reset. So the entire place just went dark, except for the spots on Lionel, and it was like, oh God, and then slowly they keep popping on, I was like, this is not a good day.
That was not good, and certainly not.
And it was the TV shoot, it's like, this is just awful.
An iconic venue in front of the pyramids. Yeah, for something like that to happen. Yeah, at least you had the spots, I guess, to rely on.
Yes,
saved the day.
You can say it was an artsy light cue,
That's right. Yeah. So what do you think is the best piece of advice that anyone's ever given you, professionally or otherwise?
I think in reality is you just never stop learning. You can learn from anybody. There's so much to learn, and with the new technology, you have to stay abreast of that. And it's very important to keep yourself refreshed in what's going on out there, and not tread on what you know. Learn, keep learning.
Keep learning. That's true. I mean, I think that's true for everybody. That's right. That's great. You can, and I think I've heard you mention before, and as you say now, you know, you can equally learn from somebody who's older and more experienced than you, as well as somebody who's younger and
exactly. Yeah.
starting out.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's great. Professionally, what would you say is your proudest achievement?
I thought about that, and at the time, I probably didn't realize it. Filming back in the day at Winterland and the Martin Scorsese film, and that was very, very. Turns out to be a big part of history, but there's been so many things over the years. It's hard to really just pick something out.
So obviously we're in the pandemic still, and we're all under some different levels of lockdown. What do you, when you're not out there working on shows, what do you normally like to do in your downtime? And this, I've got to say, this is wonderful. I've never seen anything like it. It looks, you know, large in terms of the size of the trains and the track and everything, and large in terms of its scale. That's wonderful.
Oh, yeah, I enjoy it. My daughter helps build, we have like a park, a ranch area, a little city, and, you know, it's just a great little escape from reality.
Great.
And, you know,
that's a phenomenal project out there behind you. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You've traveled the world, as you say, you know, and been to some iconic places and worked on some iconic shows. Do you have a particular favorite venue that you enjoy working in?
I have to say, Mr. Cohen nailed it with Madison Square Garden. It is an iconic venue. And for beauty, maybe Red Rocks. But I think for beauty, history, and everything, I would say the Colosseum in Verona, Italy.
Okay, right.
So there, you have to think about what has taken place and how long it's been there, and to be part of that, to be in this venue, and which is still working, it is phenomenal to think about the history that's gone in there.
Yes, all of it.
Probably all the gladiators and people getting butchered out there. It's like, whoa, God, this is amazing.
That's true. That's true. If there's ever, an ancient, absolutely ancient. Is there one artist, musical artist, or one, you know, musical album that you would just not be able to live without, especially again during these times when we're under a certain amount of lockdown, or if you were to get stranded on a desert island, what's the one piece of music you'd always want to have close to you?
I thought about this also, and I would say Gustav Holst, the Planets.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I mean, I used to listen to it religiously, and it's just such an iconic piece of music that takes you on a journey without any words, and it's just, it sets the tone and mood for so much just in its music.
Right. Yeah. As you say, and it's a long piece, so that's
yeah. Or I could say Peter Morris's solo album, which he did a long time ago. I gotta get Peter, because he's been such a mentor to me over the years also.
Right. That's great. That's great. Great choice. If you were to casting your mind back to the teenage Michael Keller, if you could go visit him and offer him one piece of advice, what would that be?
Stay in school, don't do drugs, and you'll never have to work in this business again. Oh, gee, I could have had a 401k. Damn. I wouldn't even listen to myself on that one.
Right. Yeah, what are you thinking about, old man? Get out of here. So if you had the opportunity to sit down with one person for a cup of coffee or, you know, a cigar, either living or dead, who would that be?
I love comedy. I think comedy is one of this arts to make people laugh. And I would love to sit down with Robin Williams in the 80s for like a 3-night bender and just enjoy every part of that man's brain that would come out, you know, because he was so on top of it and so witty and just so ahead of himself even. You know, he would go on tangents and the tangent would take a half hour, but all of a sudden it would go full circle to where it was, you know, where the tangent started. It was like, oh yeah, an amazing person. And
but Robin Williams, that's a great choice. And I think you picked the right time as well, you know, when he was absolutely on top of it all. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't seem to take too long when we do these, but we've hit our final question already. And obviously some great things you've told us so far. I'm looking forward to the answer with this one for you. So we've put this in as a bit of a fun question. And in a moment when we finish the interview, you're going to get a call from the US Olympic Association. And they're going to call you up, and it could be for either the winter or the summer games. But the question is, what sport are they going to call you up for? What would you like to have a go at?
I have no qualifications in this. Curling,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know how to sweep. I've been doing a hell of a lot of sweeping around the house these days.
Right.
So I'm half qualified. Skating, I don't know, but
you can imagine.
I don't think you can get really hurt that bad. I mean, I've heard people doing the bobsled. It's like, no, I think you could actually die doing that.
Right. Curling. All right, we'll take that. That's a great traditional sport. Michael, this has been fantastic. It's been some brilliant answers. It's been fantastic to see your backyard there with that just incredible, absolutely incredible construction. And yeah, been wonderful to chat with you. So as always, you know, just fantastically look forward to meeting up again in person when all of this is behind us.
Definitely, my friend.
Brilliant. Take care, and thanks again, Michael.
Thank you.